Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hi, everybody.
And the subject today, it has to do with the eternity of reality.
Yes.
And
Go into that, Tom.
yes, I actually wrote a Facebook note on this subject. Um, and what I want, the main thing in everything that I talk about that is empowering people so they'll do my training techniques and they will get better spiritually. They'll have that you have spiritual theories that enable you to take on more difficulty, more hardship, more challenge. And you're willing to do it because you embraced it. And once you embrace the challenge, once you embrace the struggle, once you embrace our hard, challenging reality, one can get really good at handling it, but you have to have spiritual theories that say there's no escape from this reality, this physical, hard reality that we're in,
Tough.
that tough, that we're on the front lines. It's going to be continuous. It's going to keep going. You're not going to get out of it, so you might as well make the most of it. You might as well make it a better situation here. Within this reality, wherever you may find yourself, in whatever world you may find yourself at the moment.
I think that in life, when life has to kind of push you along and you're not enjoying it, you're just kind of being forced to go in the motions of whatever you're doing in life. Time slows down. It seems to stop. And then everything starts piling on you spiritually. So, in understanding the reality based eternity that we have the creations to make the evolvements and do the things that we need to do, you get a hustle on it. You get started on it. There's so many things to do, and there's always so many things to do. They're in a spiritual evolvement towards your growth.
And time is always moving along faster and faster and faster and faster and moving and moving. And
Pushing and pushing.
and you say time's going by too quickly. Life is too fleeting. And then I will say, well, when I'm doing my dumbbell swings and I'm going through the agony involved in doing such a torturous exercise, like the weightlifters there did torturous exercise. Well, I have my torturous exercise, which is very torturous spiritually because of the breathing that's involved in it, because that's what meditation's about. And when I was doing it this morning, I did think about, here I am slowing down time again. And how wonderful it is, because that makes time so much more effective. Because when you slow down time, then you're not worried about time fleeting, it's moving along. And,
Because you're in the moment.
You're locked in the moment, and every little detail counts, every little speck of time counts.
And you're grateful, and you squeeze everything you can out of the time that you got.
You're making the most of the time. And that's the thing. When you're talking about eternity, you're talking about time. And some people think they can escape time.
Or time is illusion. We have time. No problem.
Time was, it's just going to keep going and going and going and going. And the past is going to be disappearing, and the future is going to be creating and being created. It's a constant, like you're moving through. It's like a momentum. You're moving through, and the past eventually disappears, and the future keeps being created. And that's what makes it exciting. It's a continuous adventure, on and on and on and on, eternally.
But are you going to break the illusions? Are you going to improve yourself? Are you going to break those limitations that you always had on yourself? Are you going to be afraid to go into the unknown of spiritual things that you need to correct for your life, and also that makes a better environment around you as well, and that gets habitual, and then you want it more, and you want more of that understanding that as you go to improve yourself, your clarity becomes more aware, and then you want your body clearer so that physical body can receive the spiritual clarity it needs to improve and join the forces of the ranks that don't whine.
And when you do really hard training, you get more of that grounding. You get that connection with the ground beneath your feet.
And also when you face pain, I think that's really a really good motivation, when you're not afraid, you're not going to go to a numbness. Something in life comes and it hurts and it's painful, but instead of running, you face it, you stand there, you feel the pain, and you learn how to move through it with the physical training, the meditations, and the understanding that in those trainings come the clarity and the spiritual.
And I haven't used painkillers for decades, and I've dealt with the pretty hard pains. And my attitude is there isn't a pain that could come my way that I cannot handle. And that's what made me the tough character I am.
But you got time. Eternally.
You got time.
Right?
You can always get better. There's always more time to get better, to improve yourself.
That's right.
And that's why time is there. And it's not like you're going to get bored with our reality, because it's not like our reality, even though it's challenging and it's physical and has certain characteristics, it's always changing. It's always transforming. I mean, you'll always be surprised. There'll always be something that'll come and challenge you or come from a different angle. So you're never going to be in a situation, I understand everything, I know everything, this is boring. It's never going to be boring.
You know nothing every day that you wake up and you're filling up your cup with more knowledge in the spiritual. And I think that Tom can agree that it can be very exhausting with thoughts if you're training yourself for breaking habits or being more positive. You can get really depleted of your energy and drained just by the mental work spiritually that you need to do in facing pains and moving forward and improving. And so that is why the link of the physical strength, clarity, and toughness comes into place for the spiritual.
And I did my exercises this morning, and I was on the internet a while, and then I lay down. And boy, did I get exhausted. I was terribly exhausted, and I just came to just a little while ago to eat. But, it's sort of like the body tells you have to have downtime in order to revive. You can't, after you push yourself really hard and you deplete your resources, you need downtime to revive, and
that's also true when you're having like a spiritual anxiety or stress or trauma or pain. You have to have downside. You have to have some low energy time to fill back up again and to stand up. Not, oh my gosh, it's too hard, I'm gonna crumble, it's hard to do. No. You take a minute, you get some energies from that low energy state, you do your meditative training, and you push through that trauma, you push through that pain, you push through that moment, go right back to the moment where you're positive, where you do your breathing, where you understand the clarity of the eternity of the reality is improvement, improvement, improvement. Push, push, push. Motivate, motivate, motivate. Yourself, yourself, yourself. Climb up that spiritual mountain.
And that just reminded me, I really need to get my meditation going today, my meditative walk, and my slow, careful, precise, almost gliding, to try not to disturb anything as I'm moving along, so like sneaking along very carefully in a very low energy state, as though you're plowing through water.
And that's what it feels like too. It feels like when you are in a swimming pool up to your waist, and you're trying to walk through the water. That's exactly what the energies feel like.
And you're going, well, I'm not, I'm doing it exaggerated because I'm doing my mouth, I do it with my nose. And it's almost like that kind of breathing when, there's a tension.
Yeah.
Where
the fight or flight is just about ready.
Your heart is pounding. You're moving real slowly. You don't know what's going to happen next. You're ready for anything, and you're not sure what's going to come. And you're walking really carefully because you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to make too much of a sound.
But it's bringing up your clarity and your awareness in that state, the healthy state, not the fight or flight that implode or that doesn't expand you. I'm sorry about my words. But the fight or flight or anxiety, or not anxiety, but the stress of like when you take a test and you know that you studied, but you're so anxious. That's the word.
And
And
that
just,
and,
hey, viewers, do you want to, like, comment on my little mishap there? That's awesome.
well, that's semantics, and you can get buried in semantics. And the thing is,
Well, I just want somebody to reply on our
yeah,
video,
yeah,
so I'm just saying.
we do need replies, but the semantics has to be constantly being that's another thing that's evolving the language and all,
Exactly.
because the
Oh my
language is
gosh, the language.
it's not good enough for the stuff that we're developing
No,
spiritually.
not
Whenever you develop
spiritually.
something new spiritually, you got to develop new words
And the
along with
words,
it.
the words do not even wrap around what we're talking about in the spontaneous spiritual walks in life. And it's important that you keep going, keep moving. Don't look backwards. Don't regret. Don't have remorse. Just keep plowing through those spiritual trainings for yourself to better yourself into that eternity reality based wherever you are is where you are.
And when I do my meditative walk, it does create tension. It does create stress. And I actually have to stop every once in a while and do a stretch.
Yeah.
And I may be doing, I do a lot of training, but I do a lot of stretching. And the type of stretching I do is not trying to get the most extreme positions. I just do a sort of limbering stretch. Like you see the animals, how they do a limbering dynamic type stretch. That's the type of stretch I do, the dynamic type, where you repeat a movement over and over again gently, but you go further and further. But you do it gently because you don't want to hurt yourself. Because when you do regular
Right.
type stretching that they tend, the static type, people have a tendency to push and push further in order to get a further stretch. And when you do that, you can get hurt readily. And then they say you have to warm up and you have to, don't bounce. But a dynamic
Yes.
stretch actually has a slight bounce to it, but the bounce is an extremely gentle bounce. You're not trying to force it. You're just trying to relax to the point that the body goes a little further and goes a little further. You go up and then you go down a little further, go up and then you let go a little further. So it's almost like a letting go because you're not forcing it. You're letting gravity take care of it.
But you also have to remember that you're trying to improve yourself. You are pushing limits and boundaries of self, but you got to be aware of your health. You got to be mindful of what you're doing. And just take it slow and trust your gut. And also keep transforming into this creator that you are, the creator of energy, spiritual energy that flows through everything, all your actions and everything that you do as an example of you. But you got to be tough. You got to be grounded. You got to have balance of what is real and what is flight.
Yeah, and we're talking about the eternity of reality, and all of this has to do with connecting more strongly with reality.
Yes.
And it's hard to connect with reality, and that's why I represent this subject the way I do. It is difficult and it's hard,
And it
and
hurts. Let's
and it
go over
hurts.
that again. It
It
hurts.
hurts. And as I say, the reason I have the spiritual theories and I've thrown out or improved on the spiritual theories of the past is because the spiritual theories of the past make you kind of wimpy when it comes to taking on certain things. That's just
And
the
it
truth.
limits you because it stops you to not question. You gotta question. You gotta push the boundaries. You gotta move forward into the the reality base of you because the perceptions are gonna change after the perceptions change inside yourself. Then they start changing outside yourself and reflecting a new you. That's why people say, man, I'm not the same person I was a year ago. That's why.
But the thing is with reality, reality can be tough. Reality can be really strenuous. It can really be difficult. But there are breaks. There are recovery times. Meaning reality allows you the ability to recharge, to recover, and then to come back again.
Yeah, but
And
not dwell and go the negative, crumbling way of I can't do it. It's too hard.
in other words, it's sunshine after the storm. There are
Yes.
cycles, and the
Yes.
cycles help you to. It's sort of like you have the reprieve between emergencies where you're able to get things together, prepare and get ready and all that stuff. And you
Yes.
don't want to take it too easy during that time, but you get the periods where you can take it easier so that when it's really challenging, you are ready
Yes,
because
you're
you
ready.
can recover. And then you have the periods where whatever you have done, whatever you've gotten ready for, is going to be tested.
Exactly. So you know exactly what spiritual role is next. You trust that gut and you know what responsibilities are yours to take on, what you're going to do going forward, how you're going to move forward and face reality, face the pains, face the traumas, face the reactions.
And you're not in it alone
No.
because you're only one individual,
Yes.
and as an individual, you try to develop what you have special. And
Yes.
the more you develop what you have special, the more you realize you need other people and what they have special to work with you.
Yes, and not only that, you'll be tested. You'll be tested of your beliefs. Are they solid rooted you coming from you and your connections?
And other people will test you too, because the other people will
Yes.
say, well, you're bringing this to the table, but this is missing. We need this. I need this in order for me to work. And then you have to work things together. So in other words, there's a lot of the
Yes.
challenges had to do with communicating with other people and working together with other people, integrating your abilities with other
Like-minded.
people's abilities. And a lot of time you may think you have it together, but when you connect with somebody else and you're working on a project, you find that you have to develop further in order to make the project work with utilizing the ability, the talents of other people, the mechanics of working together. It can be very tricky.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and you say, oh, I'm right, I got this, and you don't do things my way, I'm leaving. Well, that's the reason the world gets really messed up is people do not
Yeah.
understand that they have to work together with other people and they have to do what is practical, what will work,
Right.
what will function. And and that's where that, again, if you're connected with reality and somebody says all of a sudden, you got that wrong. Look at this picture. And all of a sudden you see a picture that says, oh, shocks you. Gets you, you say, I didn't know that was, I didn't know about that. Well, you don't go, I don't like that. You're proving me wrong. You say, oh boy, I got new information.
Yay, I can research this. Is
This
this
is,
true? This is
I,
another angle.
I can grow further. In other words, you don't get mad when you find that you're wrong or you're inaccurate. You say, boy, this is wonderful. This person clued me in. I got clued in. I don't mind getting advice. If I get good advice, that'll save me a lot of
What?
trouble.
Right? Constructive criticism. You get it from your teachers and people. We always move in a spiritual mode of teacher student, teacher student, teacher student. How many are you willing to be the student and learn something, sit back and let someone else say something, and then analyze what they said that you might actually have a better way through them, and your way's not the way that would work the best for you. Right and wrong, whatever, conscious language, whatever you feel. If someone brings knowledge to you and it works better than the old ways, crumble it up and go with the new stuff, because we need new stuff. We need innovative new people that are coming out with better and brighter ways to spiritually handle trauma and stress, and take Tom's training exercise and make it all awesome and push it forward into the society to help balance physical strength and spiritual strength into
Yeah.
that eternity.
Well, I'm sort of drawing a blank, so I guess we've covered the subject
Yes.
of the eternity of reality and no escape. One of the things which came back to me is
Yes, it always comes back to it.
is that when you're listening to other people, you always listen to other people, always listen to what's happening around you, because even the people that may not look like or appear like they have it together, all of a sudden might say something or whatever that's valuable to
That
you.
click it, that light
They
bulb
may
goes
not be
off.
aware that they did it, but the thing is with me is I tend to analyze everything in every conversation I have that at all sticks to me, and there's always quite a bit that sticks to me being my nature. So that's why it's that's why it's so important that you just, whenever you get into if you have an intense discussion with somebody and the universe gives you that intensity in the discussion, there's going to be something of value in it. So listen to it, and even
take it in, and
even if the other person is one of these people that doesn't seem to think much and is pretty simplistic in the way they do, you'd be surprised what you can even learn from people like that.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so the subject today was the eternity of reality, and we were talking an awful lot about reality and
front line. Focus.
What's involved in the front line?
Yes.
This is Positive Vibes Enterprise.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Share. And talk.
And spread the word, because when there's something represented in this universe that's unique, that's different than what has come before, it needs the effort of a lot of people to make it happen.
Get it out
and
there.
It can happen
with us.
And that's what we're trying to do here. And
Till next time.
We need more than 21 subscribers. We need people to watch it. We're not going to stop. We're getting better all the time.
Yes,
we're on the job training, and we're learning, getting better, improving.
And having fun as we go along too.
And we do that trial and error all the time.
Yes. So thank you so much once again. Until next time.
Yes. We appreciate everybody watching and the comment that will be coming very shortly.
Yeah.